Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be slightly different. We're not actually doing anything, we're doing a bit of a walk around just because it was quite highly requested. Quite a few people follow me on Instagram, wanted a walk around video to see a bit more of the car and a little bit more history about me and how long I've had it and basically stuff like that. So unfortunately there's no mods, which is quite sad, but yeah, this is what it is. I'm waiting for loads of bits for the brakes and it's super hot down here. It's like 32 degrees. In fact, I've got to open a window before I die. Fantastic, that's no better at all. Yeah, so a little bit of history about the car. I bought it in 2014. It was my second ever car after a humble little 1.2, I think it was a Z-Tech. Yeah, it was a Z-Tech, I had aircon. Yeah, so this was my second car, bought it in 2014. I think I paid, at the time, they were still quite expensive. I think I paid like 4 grand for it. It had 80,000 miles of super sketchy service history, like a gap of like 20,000 miles. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so I just bought it because I really wanted one. Did like 5,000 miles on it, and then I checked the oil and had none in there, and I was a bit like, oh okay, it'd just been serviced, which I thought was a bit odd. So I thought maybe the garage had like forgot to top it up. Took it back and they were like, no, we definitely topped it up, blah blah blah. Anyway, so I topped it up. It only needed about, I don't know, half a litre or something like that, but it was off the end of the dipstick, so it was a bit worrying. And I had no mechanical sympathy whatsoever, so I was like thrashing it around with no oil in it, so winner chicken dinner. Anyway, sure enough, after about 1,000 miles, it started really badly burning oil. So it was like piston rings were absolutely fried. Like it was using a litre every 500 miles. So it was really bad. Like every like second fill up I was doing, I was putting like half a litre, 750 mils of oil in it. So it was really bad. So in hindsight, I should have just got like a junk engine, swapped it in, but I didn't really know what I was doing back then. So I took it to Jam Sport. Anyone who's familiar with Fords, or so they do a bit else as well, with some other makes and models, is probably familiar with Jam Sport. They're a big Ford sort of tuning engineering company. I've used them a couple of times, and I've always found their service to be alright. Ordered loads of bits off them in the past. So I took it there, needed a full rebuild, like piston rings, the crank had to be reground, so like main bearings, like everything, timing chain, you name it. While they were doing that, I said stick a new clutch in it because I didn't know how old the other one had been in there for, so may as well, if it's all out, stick a new clutch in it. So that bill came to I think it was like 3.5 grand, so it was a lot of money. After then, the car was mint. It was really good. So I think I had like BC racing coilovers on it. Yeah, fresh engine. It was really good. It was still not that quick because they're not really that super quick, but it handled amazingly. It was really fun to drive. And then I kind of got a bit bored, wanted something a little bit quicker, so I was going to actually sell it for a 350Z, which a bit more of an interesting car, obviously rear wheel drive V6, bit more power. And then it just happens like the week that I was about to put it up for sale, a set of forged rods and pistons came up on the owners forum. So I was kind of like, right, mine made up, I like it, but it's not quick enough, so I'm just going to turbo it. So again, after about 15,000 miles of fresh Jam Sport rebuild, I ripped apart the engine and put some rods and pistons in it, forged rods and pistons, with a neighbour of mine who was like a Ford engineer for like 35 years. So we did the build in his garage. TDO 4 turbo, MTX 75 gearbox, out of I think it was a Mondeo, a diesel Mondeo, which worked really well. Bought a welder, made up some custom engine mounts for it, which was all right. Yeah, worked pretty well. What else did it have? Pretty basic interior, kind of the same as it is now really. Seats, harnesses, stuff like that. But I think it made 290 brake, so it was pretty quick. Obviously it weighed, I don't know what these weigh, like 1200 kilos, 1150, something like that. So, and 300 brake in a car that weighs 1200 kilos, it was pretty rapid. And then I sold it. So I sold it to someone on the owners forum. This would have been 2016, I think, maybe 2017, something like that. So I sold it to someone on the owners forum that was really, really interested. They really were super keen on it. I think I sold it at like a massive loss. I think I sold it for like 6.5 grand, having bought it for 4, spent 3.5 on the engine rebuild. So, and then another probably 4 turbocharging it, with forged rods and pistons and oil lines and intercooler piping, custom part. Like you like, if you've ever turboed a car that's not meant to have a turbo on it, you'll know how many little things you need, like gauges and pods and whatever else. So I sold it at a massive loss, but that's just cars for you. So I think I sold it for 6.5. He ran it for a bit, and I kind of forgot all about the car, to be honest. I bought a little diesel 1.6 runabout, and then a Mark 7 ST, and then my current daily driver, which is a BMW M140. Kind of forgot all about it. In the time that he'd owned it, he'd ran it for a little bit, and then he'd sold it to someone else on the owners forum who actually knew quite well as well. And they'd stuck like a supercharged, like 400 brake motor in there, so it was really quick. And then he decided that actually he wanted to break it up and go for a different car. So he sold pretty much everything off it. There was pretty much nothing left. He was left with a rolling shell. Not even a rolling shell. It was literally just a shell with some interior bits. And he messaged me saying, "I know this used to be yours. Do you want it back?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So me and one of my uni mates drove. It was like 6.5, 7 hours down to pick it up on a trailer. We got there at like 12 o'clock, met him at his little lock-up, loaded it on a trailer and drove like 6.5, 7 hours back through the night home, and dumped it on the road outside my house with no front end, no engine, literally just suspension, wheels, no brakes, just dumped it on the road and went to bed. Woke up about 9 o'clock and there was a police car sat outside my house, and I was like, oh, well, we're in trouble now, because obviously not insured, taxed, MOT, like nothing, no plates, like looked like like it'd been crashed pretty much. So I went out and tapped on his window and I was like, "Are you looking at the car?" And he said, "Yeah." I was like, "It's mine." And he was like, "All right, okay, no, I thought it'd been nicked." I was like, no, it's mine." He was like, "All right." I was just about to call a tow truck, so get it off the road. So in the rain, pouring rain, we managed to drag it onto the drive, and it's kind of gone from there really. So built it up into what we see now. So I'll cut and we'll jump to a quick walk around of the outside, inside, and what we've done to it, and you can come along. So you'll have to excuse my slightly ropey camera work, just because I'm used to obviously having it on a tripod and not really talking, but here goes. So exterior, there's not really that much. I'm not really a huge fan of doing loads of stuff like big wings and splitters and stuff. That's not really my style. I'm kind of more function over form. So sort of the most noticeable thing on the back is probably the TRC diffuser. Came with the car. I didn't buy that and probably wouldn't have, just because I don't think it's probably worth spending the money on, but it's it looks better than the standard one. Moving around it, not much, not too interesting outside of sort of regular Fiesta. Well, you can see that wheels are ATS DTCs. They're super rare now. I actually ended up getting 4 black ones for £42 on eBay, and then I had to pay £200 for the silver wheel that's on the front. So the silver wheel was a new one, and the 3 black ones were I got super cheap on eBay. So anyone who's familiar with those wheels will know that's a redonkulous bargain. But yeah, suspension, it's just sat on AP coilovers, so nothing special. In future episodes we want to put some Meister R's or some ASTs or some proper adjustable ones on there, but for the time being they work quite nicely. Moving around to the front, obviously the bodywork's not amazing, it's not horrendous. There's quite a few car parking dents as you'd expect for a 15-year-old car, and the shell's probably got about 120,000 miles on it. So in terms of the front, there's no fog lights because I deleted those years ago when I had the turbo kit, and no one ever bothered to put them back. It's got big holes drilled in the front bumper when it had a big I think it was an oil cooler behind there actually, and then quite a few people asked about the springs on the front bumper. So all of the sort of solid mounting hardware has been removed, so there's no bolts holding the bumper on at all. It's literally just those springs and then 2 little kind of like pins that slot into the wings. So you literally just undo the springs and then kind of jiggle it about, and then literally you can just pull the bumper off. So it's quite easy. Yeah, move around. Pretty much it. Obviously we installed the aero catches in last week's episode. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it, because well, I butchered it slightly, but it gives you a rough idea of how to fit aero catches. Moving into the bonnet, you'll have to excuse my super rough camera work. Yeah, so pretty standard Fiesta, to be honest. Caterham inlet, Newman cams that we fitted in the first episode. Again, if you haven't seen that, go and watch it, because it was quite a decent episode and gives you a little bit of an idea of what's involved in fitting cams. Power steering relocation. Apart from that, there's no map on it at the minute, so it does run quite rough, but I don't really use it on a daily basis, so it's purely for sort of a bit of sort of fun at the weekend. So I haven't done many miles since I fitted the cams, like just to test it works. So it does desperately need a map on it, so we'll do that at some point. But yeah, Caterham inlet manifold. Hopefully when it's mapped, I'd be disappointed if it didn't make 190 brake, to be honest. Hopefully with a fresh engine, people have run them and got over 200, so similar to what your MR 200, your Mountune inlets and stuff gets, and what your Cosworth inlet gets, but without losing the torque. With your Cosworth inlet manifold, they're not designed to be run NA, to be honest, so you lose a bit of torque, whereas you don't with the Mountune one. So hopefully with this Caterham inlet that is designed to be on an NA 2-litre Duratec, we should make 200 and a decent amount of torque. Pretty much it. Interior, just some basic bucket seats with some Willans 4-point harnesses. This isn't really designed as an out-and-out track car, to be honest. It's more of a sort of fun at the weekend, so I'm not bothering like stripping the headline out and everything, because I'm not chasing lap times. It's literally just to be enjoyable at the weekend, and nice light and nippy. So with the back seats and everything out, and a couple of panels missing, your interior bits, it does the job perfectly for what I want. And hopefully we're going to be able to take it to the ring at some point this year if we're able to go. So that's what I've aimed it for. So I don't want it to be too uncomfortable on like a big 8-hour mission to the ring. So I've left sort of carpets and headlining. It's still got a radio in. It's got a blower, no aircon, which is pretty horrendous on a day like today. But yeah, so fairly basic. That pretty much. The boot as well. So some people noticed battery relocation. So literally just mounted it with a battery mounting kit, earth to earth, and then ran a positive cable from the where the positive would sit in the engine bay, just under the carpet. Again, not super not super technical. You could definitely do it if you wanted a bit more space in your engine bay. It's quite an easy thing to do. Mounted as far back as it can go and kind of off towards the passenger side for slightly better weight distribution, but it doesn't weigh anything anyway, so it's probably negligible, the difference that it actually makes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So in the next episode, like I said, I'm waiting for rear brakes. The brakes, might be able to tell, absolutely horrific. So it's got purple calipers, which I'm not a huge fan of. Sorry, Luke, who's the person who did the purple calipers. Not quite to my taste. So they're going to be getting done just nice silver. I've got a rebuild kit. The discs are pretty horrific. Come on. Yeah, discs are pitted, scored, super rusty. So a little bit dead. So disc and pads all round. The brake lines also need a bit of attention. I don't know whether I'll do that next though, but yeah, we'll wait and see. But if you guys have got any suggestions for videos that you want to see, go ahead and stick it in the comments, and yeah, because I'm kind of running out of ideas. So yeah, that's it. All right, see you later, guys.